Righto guys, welcome back to Low Buck Racing. We're here again with the Budget Statesman for episode 2 of the Budget Drag Challenge build. Hopefully the sound's a bit better this time as we have a microphone, quite fancy. Today we're going to be putting a diff in this. We've already done a 0 to 100 test with the factory diff gears, which you'll see now. Once we get this one done, we'll show you what we're doing, tell you why we're doing it. We'll go to another 0 to 100 test just to show you the difference between the different diff gears in the car and how they make an effect on it. So we've got a diff. Our good friends at Mobile Diff Repairs in Dandenong have built us up a fresh 3.7 LSD for this thing. Being budget, we got second-hand diff gears off him. He had a set on the shelf that were pretty good condition, so we said throw those together with a Rico LSD and that'll do us. We don't need anything fancy. We're not making a ton of power, so standard M80 will do the trick with some used gears, and it'll get us done. We're going to get that one in soon, then we'll go do some testing. But while we're talking, let's go over to the whiteboard, and I'll give you a budget breakdown on what we've spent so far. So we paid $3,000 for the car, and then $1,500 for the cam, the parts, all that stuff, the gaskets. We're not going to include all the consumables like the spark plugs, oils, stuff like that, because that's just normal stuff you're going to do to your car anyway. So we're going to keep that out of the budget. Then we've got the converter and transcooler. They were $350. A nitrous and nitrous controller. We paid $400 for the nitrous kit off Facebook and $200 for the controller. The diff from MDR was $13.50. Thanks to Luke for that. The tune. We were sponsored the tune, however, we're going to calculate it into the cost anyway, so it is more real. So a tune's going to run you anywhere between $800 to $1,200. So we've just gone in the middle at $1,000. We've got a used shifter off Facebook as well for $200. Radials, $600. Now we have got wheels on this, which you'll have seen by now. You don't need the wheels. The radials are going to help you, so we're not going to cost the wheels into it. That was just something we wanted to do for funny ha-has. It doesn't need them, but it looks cool, so why not? So all up, we're at $8,600 so far, which I think is pretty good considering what we've got done to this car. If we can keep that under 10 grand, we'll be absolutely stoked. If we blow it out a little bit, as long as we keep it under 15 grand, it's all within the spirit of things. So that's a breakdown so far. When we finish the car, we will do another complete breakdown on it. We'll go through everything we put in it, every cost that we put in it except the consumables, and then we'll go racing. So for now, that's it. Let's get this car up, get some tools happening, and get the diff in. Righto guys, we've got the car up in the air, so I'm just going to show you a couple of things that we've got to do to get it off. So, I'm going to have to crouch down because I'm a tall bastard. We're going to pull all the drive shaft bolts off here, and same on the other side. Now, the hard part with this diff, up top, I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but we've got 4 bolts. We've got one here, and we've got one over the front down there. We've got those on each side. The tail shaft undone, ABS sensors, they'll come off, rear diff mount, that'll come off. And then we're going to have to manhandle this thing out because I have lent my trans jack out like an idiot, but you get that on the big jobs. So we'll get cracking into this, get some bolts undone and get it out. Now, a lot of people say it is easier to drop the cradle. It probably is, but we're suckers for punishment. We're going to do it the hard way. And yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. Alright guys, so we've already got a little bit done. We've got drive shafts are out, ABS sensors are out, very important, do not forget them. Tail shafts out, as you can see, we've got the exhaust off to make it a bit easier. Now it's time to try and get these bolts up here. If you can see them, there's that one and that one. And there's 2 more over there in the darkness. We'll try and get them. This is how you work on cars. So to show you where we're trying to go, there's 2 bolts here. There's not much room there. They're quite fresh still, haven't had much use. Righto guys, I forgot to turn the microphone here, but here's me just explaining that we've got the diff back in, we've got the drive shafts done up, we've got the ABS sensors back in, tail shaft done, everything went back together pretty simple, just the way we pulled it apart, except we made it a little bit easier. We bolted the diff up completely before doing the rear mount, which we should have done on the way out. And then I'm just explaining why you put a higher diff ratio in your car. So putting in a higher diff ratio is going to allow you to accelerate a lot faster, because the tail shaft is going to turn more times to the wheel, taking some of that stress and load off the motor, allowing it to rev faster. Now, with doing that, you are going to lose top speed. What I'm doing here, I'm just showing, I've drawn some marks on the diff, just so we can show you how to check your diff ratio. If you put 1 mark off the drive shaft, 1 mark off the tail shaft and start spinning, the amount of times you have to spin the tail shaft to come back around to where the drive shaft was is going to give you your diff ratio. So the standard diff ratio in this was 3.08, and that was about where that mark would have been, and now we're going to keep turning, and we've got it back around to about 3.7. So that tells us that the diff ratio in this is in fact 3.7. Having that higher diff ratio is definitely needed for drag racing. It's going to allow you to accelerate faster, it's going to help you 60-foot times, and it's just going to make it all round better for the car. Now I can't remember exactly what I was saying here, so I'm just going to babble a little bit for you. But yeah, diff gears are a good thing. They're probably the best bang for buck mod you can do to your car. Highly recommend it, especially for a Commodore or a Falcon. Even if you're going to go just a set of 345s, it's going to help, but I'd recommend some 37s or 39s. They'll really liven up your car.
They'll make it nicer to drive. They'll make it a bit quicker
Righto,
and
guys,
a bit
there
more
we
fun.
have it. The diffs all done in the Budget Statesman. Everything went well. We did some 0 to 100 testing, got some pretty good results. The factory time for this car 0 to 100 is around 6.4 to 6.5 seconds. Before we did the diff gears, we did it in 5.32, and after the diff gears, we got it down to a 4.45. So that's a pretty good jump for just a set of diff gears, and that difference on the track is going to make a massive difference. Speaking of the track, we're going to take this out this weekend and see how slow it is, just to get a couple of passes on it. Going to play with a few things, tyre pressures, see where we're at with that. So make sure you tune in for that episode. That's going to be it for this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your dog about us. Have a good one. This diff sucks.
Yeah.